tournament. He hasn't been doing that all the time in recent games, including, of course, his win at Assembly Summer.
Yeah, I mean, DIMAGA is a player that is very macro-focused, very defensive and passive on that side as now. And he has built 4 links and then nothing more than that. He has mined up to 50 gas to give him the option to throw down a Bailey Nest if need be against any Forge Fast Expand, but is only mining with 1 right now. And he does see quite, well, he sees the Gateway and obviously the Cybercore on the high ground, sees a Zealot and Stalker and easily builds a few more links. And surprisingly for HuK, has not scouted with a probe in this game and is going to run into trouble because we have the gas and pool build. And so we are going to have speed out very, very shortly, and HuK is going to lose the Stalker and Zealot if he doesn't run back soon.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate, wouldn't it? And it is becoming more and more unusual for Zerg to go at really, really early speed, and that Stalker is dead. It's as simple as that. There's no way that's getting away from that. It doesn't matter how top your control is, it doesn't get away from that many Zerglings, and that's a nice little opener there for DIMAGA, and something that HuK is perhaps not as used to dealing with, considering Idra very rarely gets Zergling speed out that fast.
Yeah, I mean, when HuK plays on the Korean ladder, you don't really see this kind of build anymore. It's a lot spawning pool than hatchery, so bit of a surprise for HuK, but he's had the experience playing against his style many, many times before, and has opted to get those 2 extra gateways and is safe. Even the Forge here before the Nexus, ultra safe to make sure there are no aggression or no aggression coming. And we see that he has got +1 melee attack. He's taken, well, still with 1 in gas, sorry, and will be going for that very, very early +1. But we're not really going to see any aggression out from DIMAGA at the moment. But HuK doesn't know that. He doesn't know what is going on, so he's playing as safe as can be because he hasn't had a good run this weekend. No,
he hasn't, honestly. He really hasn't. Losing into a PvP there, which a lot of people said he should have taken. Admittedly, they were underestimating Elfie, whose PvP win ratio is absolutely ridiculous and has proven that time and time again in this tournament. And at this point, DIMAGA is looking really comfortable, honestly. The +1's going to give him some nice offensive ability, the ability to perhaps try to get a run by. There's only a single sentry here, and that's actually going to get eaten alive by these Zerglings who are able to surround. And into, oh wow, there you go. Some aggressive possibilities into the mineral line. DIMAGA is able to go. Not able to do a huge amount of damage, but even picking off that 1 sentry, as far as I'm concerned, made that worth it. In the meantime, HuK getting aggressive with sentries of his own at the front.
Yeah, HuK's losing probes. He missed the block, but he does get the queen down. He's going to be able to take the Spinecrawl down. He's got enough force fields to hold off for now, but he has to run. He does not have enough to get rid of all these lings, and there are a lot of lings out right now. 10 more in production. But HuK lost 4 probes there, and this is not a good start for HuK in this series. We do have the layer coming down as well, and he has to retreat. He will get away and survive with these units, though. And he did force some units, kill a queen, slow the production down of DIMAGA on the same time.
The last thing I want to do with DIMAGA is force him to build more +1 Zerglings. And here we go. Are the force fields good enough? There are a couple of Zerglings in there, not enough to kill the sentries, but another run by!
Again, he's misplaced that Zealot just a little bit. He does warp in another one into the probe line, but he's having to pull probes off, and his mining time, his gas income is being slowed down. HuK just sloppy.
And DIMAGA really well executed. That's something you've got to really point out. The early +1 has benefited him a huge amount. The amount of extra damage he's able to do there. He can kill sentries faster. He can grab those probes faster. He's got much more time to play with. And another offensive force moving in by HuK here. But it wouldn't surprise me to see DIMAGA find a way around these force fields. HuK's positioning is good, though. Using the cliff face there. Make sure that nothing's going to happen. And backing off. And let's be honest, DIMAGA has been stuck on 2 base for quite some time here. And it's a bit difficult to expand on this map for obvious reasons. DIMAGA now finally is going to start working away at those rocks.
Yeah, he did make a bit of a mistake not going into the second gas on the main base, so his gas is not actually that high, and it should have been higher. He has gone for a Spire, though, so we're seeing 2 base Spire coming out for DIMAGA. And over here for HuK, we have a robotics facility coming down. And DIMAGA has really good museless control. He doesn't usually play like this, but on this map, like you said, because it is hard to get a 3rd base, 2 base Spire does work well. I do like what HuK is doing, moving out consistently to the middle of the map, making sure that DIMAGA is always on his toes, forcing a second Spinecrawl out, forcing lings to come out as well. And we do have +2 melee attack being researched as well here for DIMAGA, and he will be expanding to that 3rd base on the top left very, very shortly. But HuK, on the other hand, is getting a Twilight Cancel. Yes, I love this. He realizes that I haven't seen any gas units yet. Maybe potentially he could be going for this Spire. So has thrown that down the robotics, that Twilight Castle, can get Blink, and more importantly, can continue his upgrades into +2 attack.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Blink is going to be out too slow in order to deal with the first wave of Mutas, but it is a smart research nonetheless. Twilight Council coming out, the Blink will immediately start right there, and the Chrono Boost applied in order to get it out as fast as possible. And we're also going to see a Warp Prism from HuK. This is good. I'm liking that. HuK, through this entire tournament, has been denied the ability to harass, and that really, really hurts him, whereas his opponents have been able to do that to him over and over again. Getting the Warp Prism out at this stage will allow him to do that, and it's going to be required because DIMAGA is going to double expand, getting the gold and at the back.
You have to keep in consideration, too, Mutalisk are the counter to Warp Prism, and it's been spotted on the right-hand side. Lings have spotted it. Mutalisk immediately should be turning around and going towards that now, and smartly, HuK, does pull back to his base with that Warp Prism. The harassment will be able to continue here for DIMAGA, picking off pylons, sentries, some loose units, and there's a lot of Lings here, but Forcefield should be able to hold this off quite easily here. Yeah,
shouldn't be a problem. He can't drill his way through the pylon. That was a lot of Lings stacked in that very small area right there, and a lot will be slaughtered. The Forcefields, almost excessive, honestly, but enough to absolutely destroy everything in that very small space.
And the Warp Prism is in a lot of danger. HuK dummies out, though. Oh, the Mutalisk don't quite see it. HuK does dummy out, and now DIMAGA realizes it's not there, does turn back. Will he be able to find it? Oh, he does.
He's got it. That Warp Prism will die. It's not going to escape, unless, of course, he's able to intercept with the Stalkers. Very nice play there by HuK, reacting as quickly as possible.
The Lings in the middle of the map.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about Blink. He gets the hell out of there as quickly as possible.
And Warp Prism finally goes down, and Ling's doing a lot of damage with +2 here, focusing down the sentries again with these Mutalisks. Excellent decision-making from DIMAGA there.
Yeah, HuK able to blink up to the top and do some damage to that Mutalisk camp, but with that many sentries killed, I'd say that was still a fairly good trade there for DIMAGA.
And HuK is used to playing against Mutalisk a lot. On the Korean server, every Zerg uses Mutalisk now, every single game. So HuK is so well practiced against this style, and that may not work out so well for DIMAGA as HuK pushes again with +2 attack, and +2 attack with Blink Micro is going to be able to crush these Mutalisks, and DIMAGA knows he's under threat and under danger. He starts building roaches.
What I'm really worried about here for HuK is the fact that he doesn't have any sentries anymore, and that +2 melee attack, if a lot of Lings suddenly come out, that's going to wreck this force very effectively. But the Link count is really, really low. It doesn't look like DIMAGA actually has a lot of lava available. There we go, 24 Lings coming in, but that gold base is almost assuredly going to go down unless DIMAGA can pull some kind of Jedi mind trick here.
Yeah, the gold base is going to go down, and DIMAGA is trying to cut off any reinforcements from kind of coming, and then going to engage into this army.
Yeah, he doesn't have the unit count just yet for that. He's actually holding them in position, perhaps, in an effort to try and then bring the Lings around the back. And I mean, honestly, DIMAGA did throw away a lot of Mutalisks there, and I don't know if it was quite worth it. He'll be able to destroy a lot of Stalkers to follow this one up. If he kills all of the Stalkers, then that will be worthwhile. Some good Blink Micro coming in here. Still needs more Lings on the field. They're about to pop out.
Oh, HuK's control is so good. He just does so much damage with so little, and he's able to get a third base up as well. He needs to build a couple of cannons there to make sure that Lings don't just go and kill everything, so he has to be a little bit careful about that, and then he does morph in a single cannon on that right base. But right now we're just on Gateway and Immortals coming in for the Roach counter, but 4 additional Gateways been added on, +3 attack. Is only 100 seconds away from completing as well. An excellent blink. Or actually, that might not have been too good because there are a lot of Lings here.
Yeah, that was... the problem is that no matter how he blinked, there were going to be a ton of Lings. And those Lings are +2, so they do quite a lot of damage. He is able to clean up, though. Some excellent control to get rid of that. And, hey, +2 upgrade almost into +3 does help quite a bit there.
It would be awesome if we saw HuK throw down a Templar Archive soon after taking the gas on this third base. Bringing in Storm, for one, is a great ability against Mutalisk, but more importantly, getting the Archons against this Ling Muta style would be so good. And we're actually seeing a tech switch back to Muta. I mean, he kind of showed Roaches, so HuK is preparing for a lot of Roaches, but we're actually seeing tech over into Mutalisk once again. And that's not going to work too well for DIMAGA here, because Mutalisks are not really combat units, especially against +3 Blink Stalkers, and that's about to finish that upgrade. 10, 20 seconds away.
And that's perhaps the most crucial thing about it. You're seeing a lot more of this switch back into Mutalisk in the current metagame against Zerg. But this is... What the... I actually have no idea what that is. Whatever the case, that's going to be a lot of dead probes here as the Zerglings come in. I think he's using them as a buffer in order to defend this mass Stalker against those Lings. That's all I can really think of there. And the probes are actually doing fairly well, but the Stalkers will still be ripped to pieces. And that means that HuK is going to have to back off here. The Mutalisk count did not go down low enough.
What the heck was that? Like, I don't even know what that was about. +2 Lings and Mutas. He had... I don't even know. I'm so baffled by that decision. And he's just throwing away the game.
I think he might have, yeah. I mean, his pro count was ridiculously high, but still, that didn't seem like it was worthwhile at all. I think it was just kind of a last-ditch effort there. He realized that there were a ton of Lings and Mutas on the map and that it wasn't, in fact, going to be this Roach transition. So he did what he could in order to try and defend this base. And to his credit, he did keep it up. But his pro count is now only at 33, and DIMAGA has re-secured the gold.
What I think was going through his mind is that he didn't realize there was a back left base at the top left. And after killing the gold base, he was like, all right, man, 2 base Zerg's pretty bad. And he was just going to go kill with what he had, especially with +3 attack. And then realize, you still have a lot of crap. You have a lot of units. And all of a sudden, he's really thrown himself on the back foot now. And no matter how good his control is, there are too many Lings.
There are too many Lings. HuK does see that base. I don't know when he scouted it, but this is just brutal. It really is. DIMAGA is ripping him to pieces right now, and the Muta count is too high to deal with. Another force crushed, and while he's not able to take out that base, still only 35 probes here. Economy looking pretty devastated. DIMAGA playing the very much July Zerg style of a very low drone count, very aggressive play, now putting pressure onto the natural.
I mean, he's going to lose these sentries now, and I think this will be the end of the game, but the third base was scouted with an Immortal very late on after killing the back rocks, and HuK's tech is going down.
GG. Very well played there by DIMAGA, and as you said, an interesting and odd decision there by HuK, mostly based on the idea that, far as we know, he did not know about that back base.
I don't know. It's really weird. I mean, it could have been a miss hotkey or something to bring them with you, but at the same time, there was probes from every base going.
And
so
they were fighting as well. You know, he didn't just suddenly realize, oh God, I've got my probes, let's pull them back. No, they were doing damage. They were being used, so it was the deliberate decision.
Yeah, I don't know. And just looking over at HuK, he's got his head in his hands at the moment, and he knows he threw that game away. And unfortunately for him, he's 0-1 in this series. We will be going into the next game, which is going to be on Tal'Darim Altar. A nice map again for Mutalisk if DIMAGA decides to play that style. But as I said during that game, HuK is good against Mutalisk. He has the control, the defense to beat that down easily.
Well, yeah.
And to be honest, until that probe came in, I was like, all right, man, HuK's third base going up, great. Gas going down. Tempo Archives is going to come down very, very shortly. And he could have really glided into the mid-game and late game. And even in the game, he's like, am I high? What was I doing? Like, he doesn't even know himself and threw that game away. Yeah,
that was a little bit confusing. But as you said, Tal'Darim, very good Muta, but also a good map for Stargate play as well, which is, you know, this Mass Phoenix is becoming the way to deal with that, and with control like HuK's, it's good enough to do it. We'll see what happens in Game 2. We'll be going to that very shortly, folks. Don't go anywhere.